Okay. So those who smoking Bahai, they don't love the position.
You know, Sharul, you'll be surprised when you have enough love, anything is possible. Love is the answer.
True. Okay. So no fornications. I saw something that you also don't allow same-sex marriage and LGBT. You against that?
Yes.
Is that true, Sami?
What is that?
You against same-sex marriage or LGBT? You don't allow that kind of thing.
We don't allow that homosexuality.
So
even
Sharul,
marriage also the intersex
sorry?
are not allowed.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Sharul, it's a very sensitive question. People say we are all different types, and why can't you let me live my life? Why must you interfere and tell me how I choose my partner? The Baha'i view would be every single human being must be respected. None of us should be judgmental. We should coexist. Now, we'd also say that perhaps the the way humans were meant to be would be man and woman raise a family. However, we wouldn't judge a person who decides otherwise. We would just say, look at it biologically, look at it medically, look at it psychologically, and all of us are here to support you and be with you. But we wouldn't put a negative slant on it. We just say, all of us are not perfect. Let's work together to make things better. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Suresh. There is a saying there that put that the best that you can put the Baha'i standing on that is sympathetic disapproval. In that sense, yeah. I mean, to a certain extent, we Islam. Sorry, yeah.
The point of marriage,
yeah.
Baha'is, according to Baha'i teachings, marriage is not compulsory, but it's an obligation. The purpose of marriage is to bring forth a child, whereby the child mention the name of God, praise God. That is the most important. But what Suresh answered is that it's on your subject, okay, based on your questions. Okay, the Baha'is, our founder Baha'u'llah encouraged marriage to bring forth a child, to praise God.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that Baha'i also don't agree with, they call it celibacy or monkism, that you are correct, not? Which is,
correct.
I think that's also contradict to some Buddhist teaching.
Sharul, what you might not know is that while we say no, monasterism and all that, going off on to the mountaintop and living there alone, the whole reason was Baha'is must spend all the days of their lives in service to people, every person who crosses your path. You can't go off in a corner and isolate yourself, hoping to find nirvana. It has to be know your God by knowing your fellow men, that type of concept.
Yeah, thank you, Suresh. But you step on Dr. Ui's leg. Yes, you are quite, in against that. I think some of the teaching of Buddhism as well.
Marriage.
Sorry?
But I'll buy him a cup of tea anytime, yeah?
No. That's why I think you disagree. I think in that sense, Muslim which we agree on that,
Yes.
I mean, except for those who really we don't we judge them individually. If they have some other reason to serve God in that sense, they just want to serve humanity by writing, completing. They're so busy. They don't have time to get married and stuff like that, but they also want in service. I believe in that sense is okay, but probably like Surah said, if you live in a mountain, so in that sense, I also agree. Nanti kalau Dr. Ui marah, I cakap Suresh yang cakap Bahai. Go on top the Bahai first.
Correct, but we don't force anyone to. You must marry, compulsory.
Of course,
not force the people to get married. But it's leave it to the individual. You choose a partner, a good partner, whereby you can form a family, establish a family, bring forth a child.
Yes, that's why they call it la ikrahu fid din. There's no force in religion. Even in Islam, the same thing. You cannot force people to. This is something that you have to embrace wholeheartedly.
The other point, most important one, is the parental consent. When they get married, they must get a parental consent, the biological parents.
Yeah, it's true.
That is most very important law in the Baha'i faith.
All right. Okay. Okay. Oi Hin Bing, not totally. Buddhism has a lot of explanation to do. Wow. So, so you are, in that's why I say you cannot have all both ways. You cannot be Bahai unite, but at the same time you cannot say a circle square in that sense.
I understand.
Circle is a circle, square is square. You
Yeah.
cannot put everything together. What you are different, we are different in that sense.
Yes.
It's okay. So people are
Choice
looking
given
forward
to
for
you.
Buddhism to give the side
Choices.
of view.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
got a lot to answer and explain to the public. Yeah.
Yes.
Are we talking about conflicting doctrines? Nothing related to social or moral teaching. Still unclear about reincarnation issue. I'm not talking about conflicting doctrine.
So Sharul, we should agree with you on reincarnation. What you said is correct. Baha'is do not believe in reincarnation. And I say this because in your mind, this dying and coming back to this earth, of course we don't believe in that. LOURDUSAMY and I just shared a spiritual meaning on reincarnation. That's all.
Yep.
If it confuses, we stick to your answer.
Hey, don't quote my name, man. Don't quote your name, man. This is your time. I'll give it. Islam is the last one. I'll answer everything.
Very good.
Now it's all Bahai. It's Sami and Suresh. Okay, are we not talking about conflicting doctrines? Of course, we have discussed some conflicting doctrines. And ISO Islam, I think I'll share all the similarities and also share some of the differences. And I think in Islam, ISO 1, I think Islam, I think the viewpoint of Islam, we want to be, we want to agree to disagree on some of the things, To me, that's why. Otherwise, we can, if all is the same, why don't you just join Islam? Why don't you join any religion? If all is the same, to me, it's quite illogical in that sense, But I totally agree in the unity of mankind,
Sure.
We should love one another and whatnot. We should help each other in that sense. I'm with you 200%, There is no disagreement on that, We should not be fighting over religion. I totally agree with that,
Yeah.
But I cannot be agreeing that we are the same in that sense because Angelin said there are many doctrines, differences between us. And among all religion, I think you should respect that. Okay.
Yeah. Sharul,
Yes.
let's agree on that point, what you just said. But let me give one analogy which might help people, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Thank you.
The sun rises on a Monday, and it rises on a Tuesday, and it rises on a Wednesday, and it rises on a Thursday. I'm just saying it's the same sun. But you are perfectly right to say, no, it's the Wednesday sun. So that's the concept of religion. Religion renewing itself because humanity has forgotten the message. That's all. But I'm saying,
I know. You being a bit political in that your answers to that. I think people cannot, I think spade is a spade, diamond is a diamond. I think they are two different things.
Sharon,
I cannot be, sorry, yes, Sami.
Yeah? Sharon?
Yes.
We believe in the progressive revelations.
Yep.
Whereby earlier I said a child goes to standard 1, it progresses. Standard 2, standard 3, continuously progressing. Same thing. Even we believe in the progressive revelations, whereby God sends every ages he sends prophets, a divine teacher, educating the mankind to become better person, to become work for the humankind.
Hey, sorry, Sami, I'll agree with that, no problem. I think you have answered Suresh also. I just want to answer Alistan. Okay, conflicting doctrines, we cannot too long. I think I just got a couple of minutes.
Sure.
It's the thing, to me, this very good discussion. I can't even finish. I just want to go to back. One of the basic principles of Bahai faith, spiritual solution to economic problems is by Alistan. Could you give examples in economic life? Spiritual solution to economic problem.
Very good question. I want to buy a dinner for the person who asked that question. So in the Baha'i writings, we talk about integrity and honor and doing the right thing. For an employer and employee, we are all bound by laws. And, when you join an employment place, you have certain terms of reference you need to do. So Baha'i say, be honest, be integrity, be, fulfill the terms of your contract. So that's one thing. Baha'is also talk about minimum wage, that we should have a minimum wage and people should have enough to feed their family. So that's how we address economics. We also say employers be fair. If the employee has contributed towards your wealth and your success, make sure you reward the employee for what he has put into your company. So we are all pro employee. Then we say the huge margin between what you cost, what you spend to make a product and the amount you charge a person cannot be so big. Make your prices fair. All of these are Baha'i principles. Then they say, those who are very rich, willingly you must give to the poor. Don't be forced by taxation or what to give. That generosity you have the capability to do. And then we say materialism is destructive and we need to overcome consumerism. So those are the
Okay.
basic principles.
I just want to add to Suresh from his teaching. It's about religions and science. I think it's like a bird with two wings. Religion without science is superstition, and science without religion is materialism. I mean, if you without the God, I think the same as Islam. Is like you put the moral filter before you go into economics, in the sense that why you earn that in the first place. That's why if you have that moral filter, you know why you work, just to feed your family, some of the basic necessities, and the rest probably you help for the charity. In that sense, I think we totally agree that is one of the important things, that if everyone's abide by that, we can have a better world. I think
Can
we
I
don't
just
have.
say one point?
Yeah, sure.
All of these thoughts which you and I agree on, the suggestion to the crowd is teach it at your family level. While your children are young, teach them these values. They will carry it into their adulthood.
Yep, sure. I think we already said that. The first thing is we should lead by example. You don't teach them, but you don't practice the whatever that you preach. Islam is very, Allah, the God is very mad at people who preach but don't walk the talk, don't walk, basically do what they preach.
Yes.
Okay, I think this is already 10:30. I just want to conclude our meetings. I just want to read what are basically the similarities and differences between how Islam see that thing, and how basically in that oneness of God, single and powerful, all-knowing, eternal, and whatnot, that is basically similar. And that to me is unity in God is similar. One religion, we also believe in that. Like you said, the iPhone kind of analogy, it's from the Adam. It's basically, to us, it's basically submitting to the one God. But how you pray, how they call it Sharia or the laws is basically different from time to time, depending on the complexity and on the intelligence of certain people from time to time. And also one humankind, I say from Adam and Eve, what we have until now is basically the three concept is the same, except for the sampai dekat Prophet Muhammad, which even Quran said he's the last and final messenger. There is no prophets after that. So basically that is that. I just want to add one thing. I think the Bab, which is the herald, basically the gatekeeper of the thing, the Baha'u'llah, I mean the founder, they call it.
Yes.
Later, I think he claimed as Imam Mahdi. Imam Mahdi is basically what we believe. Also, at the end of the time, he will come out. I think the Shia also is very Shia kind of Imam Mahdi. We also believe in that. At the end of time, there is an Imam Mahdi, but from the sayings of Prophet Muhammad, he doesn't fit that criteria from our perspective. Okay. And of course, they also, like Baha'u'llah said, they're also coming a second prophet after him, probably 1,000 years after that.
Yes.
We also agree in that. I think in that sense, we agree with the Christian that will come is in the form of Jesus. That we find that all of us will be united under one religion in that sense, and there'll be prosperity in this world and everything, fight and everything. So we believe in that, but just in the different stories and narrative between the Christian and Islam. And probably that's what we agree in that sense about the Imam Mahdi and the Bab or the gatekeeper, and how that's different from us. And of course, elimination of all form prejudice. Even Islam, you can even, they call it in English bersangka buruk. But you think of a bad thing about other people. We just think about, when I see SURESH, I just see you as a good person. You cannot, probably it's not honest. I cannot do that, so we agree in that. Independent investigation of truth, of course, this is very central to the Muslim teaching. You have to investigate the truth. You just cannot be born and go there. heaven. Obedience to government and non-involvement in partisan politics. Is that true?
True, totally true.
You cannot run as an MP, yeah? Not sorry?
Baha'is will vote, and Baha'is will support their government, and Baha'is will be very law-abiding. We will not join demonstrations or riots.
No. This is it. You cannot be partisan politics, meaning to say you can't be stand as MP.
I can't be the president of MIC. I can't.
No, even MP or ADON, no, cannot, right?
No,
Okay.
no political party.
Okay, that's clear. I'm just.
We don't take part in the politics, but we vote.
Of
It's
course,
right
yeah.
of individuals.
Okay, in Islam
Right?
there is no.
We
Okay.
vote, but then we don't take part.
No, I just want people to know that you will not be, you can't be stand as an MP.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. The Muslim has no problem. I think Christian, the rest, there's no problem with that. I just want them to know.
The main purpose is Baha'i faith is a love and unity.
Of course, there's what we think is obedient. I think the Christian also that you have to respect the law of the land. I think Baha'i also have the same thing, and I think Islam have the same thing, as long as it doesn't contradict with your teaching. And of course, there is this elimination of extreme wealth and poverty.
Yes,
This is very true. Then we also agree with that. How come 26 men can have the 3.7 billion wealth? No, it just doesn't. There's nothing wrong with 26 men. It's just that you can do better and give it some to me.
As long as there's poverty, it's not okay.
Yeah. In fact, if I've also saw the Christian teaching, you cannot have a second pair of shoes if the other person doesn't have a shoe. Sure. I mean, that's really a very strict sense, in that sense. But how people can live to that is something that we have. So love one another. Would you allow your brother or sister to go hungry? I cannot agree more. And then Islam also have similar teaching. You cannot go to heaven if you let your neighbors go back to hungry. I think Christian also the same thing. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. So I think that's basically similar. Deeper reality behind the physical world. Yeah, sometimes you see the physical, but actually the deep inside, actually the spiritual, we live in the physical world. That is permanent. It's basically the same. And Islam also say we don't know much about the spiritual world. It's basically between God. We just have to know what we have to know in this world. And gender equality and justice, of course, we agree with that. But I think to a certain extent, Baha'i also similar. I think also critics on Baha'i that you're patriarchal in that sense. I think there is no woman in the 9 members of your panel of the Universal House of Justice.
That's true.
And of course, there's no clergy and whatnot in probably woman in that sense. Okay. I think, and also there is, I think we're similar in that sense. There is, we cannot be equal. I think it's about equity. There is a role. That's why we are different. We have to appreciate the differences in us. And okay, religion and science have to be in harmony. I cannot be agree more than that. 2 wings of a bird. Yeah, like I said just now, religion without science is superstition, and science without religion is materialism, which is very true. I couldn't, or probably as Albert Einstein said, I don't want religion without science without religion is blind, something like that. Okay. Life of service. Anyway, okay. If you even disagree, if you see my last, if you agree, I think there are many things that probably we will disagree. I'll just show you this thing. I think this also similar to, wait, I just share screen. Can you see that? No. You cannot. Okay, I didn't share screen. Okay, and mine is basically chapter 5 verses 48. We can agree to disagree.
Yes.
God will judge us. No one can judge between you and me, who's wrong and who's right. As long as you're sincere in whatever that you believe, God will settle difference once we die. In this world, we are brothers and sisters. But as long as we live, we should strive ourselves to do good things and serve humanity. I think SURESH also has, I think, serve as can work be a worship. Yes, in Islam also similar. The worship in Islam probably 20 minutes, the max, the 5 times. And the rest, actually, your every action, your every word is worship. You should utter the same thing. Okay, I think that is okay. The differences: one God, pure, no son of God, no associate, no partners. That is basic Islam. I think SURESH also similar to that. But I don't know how you unify the other religion when they have different doctrines in that sense. I cannot see that unification when all the other religions say they are different. Okay, and like I said again, Muhammad's last prophet. So we stop at that. The problem is, we think that the Islam is basically final perfect. There's no if you can show to me there is still loopholes here and there, probably we can say something, but otherwise it is quite okay. Heaven and hell, like we already discussed, is basically a bit different. We and the Christian basically similar. I think we also don't have this universal auxiliary language, which is very ambitious. Esperanto, the constructed lingua franca of the Bahai faith, which is very good.
So Sharul, I just clarify. The Baha'u'llah said we should have one international language, so wherever you go in the world, you can be understood. But he never said it's Esperanto. Esperanto could be a language. English could be a language, but we don't know yet.
All right. I just saw in that thing, so he said there is one who coined that from all different language, he find a common term. People in the one super language in that sense. I don't know. It could be, let's say, lingua franca of English or Arabic, whatnot. But they're already there, So unless you want to impose your language over the people. Sorry?
Carol, mother tongue also is very important. You
yes,
must know the mother tongue. And this is an auxiliary, additional language.
Additional language. On top of your mother tongue, you have this one universal language.
Yes.
Okay, agree with that. So this is basically what I think that we agree. We just don't have that. The universal language, you say Arabic, you don't have no problem. And you also have world peace and new world order for universal faith. So this is the thing that I think it might, I think it's basically the core teaching of Bahai as well. You can have lesser peace, but but for you to have the lasting peace or the most great peace and the purging of all the overwhelming corruptions, as it is necessary that all people of the world universally unite under a universal faith. In certain sense, i.e. is Bahai faith. Correct or not? I mean, in that sense that you see, if people have different ideology, people have different faith, you cannot be united. There will be corruptions in that sense.
So, Sharul, you're very learned. The lesser peace you talked about is maybe a political unity among the nation. This great peace is actually the real promise in all our scriptures, all men under one banner.
So so I'm not too sure whether we have universal peace. Of course, if in Islam point of view, we say if everyone can be a Muslim in that sense, you also can have universal peace. If your purpose in life is basically to do good and to spread good, how can we don't have any peace in that sense? But you claim yours and I claim mine in that sense. We don't want to argue on that thing. Let us agree to disagree on that thing. But you cannot be claiming that's your soul in that sense, because you also share in that sense. Okay, it's just that to me sometimes even Muslim, to me it's not like that you become a Muslim that you can, let's say even all people is Muslim. I don't think that you can have that. You don't have corruption and universal peace in the sense that it's not only that you're born that you have that faith, but for you to walk that faith, that is more important that your IC is so and so religion. That's more important in that sense. To me, knowing and understanding and acting on that, whatever that you believe, is more important. That's basically in Islam, they call it taqwa. Okay, I think, is that okay? That's basically what our similarities and what are basically our differences in that sense. I don't have any problem. We're not fighting in that sense. We appreciate where we differ. And we cherish what we agree in that sense. And together we work to make this world a better place. That's why I love Bahai. Okay, before we go, I think probably I just give you your last comment you want to say.
So thank you, Sharul. I've so enjoyed being with you, and you're so open-minded, and I really appreciate your series of talks. Just 2 quick points. Baha'is want to transform the world. Individually, each of us must change, and society must change. You can't be happy with the way the world is. That's our aim. Secondly, Baha'is always love to collaborate. Any group out there who'd like to learn more and work with us and make things better, we are open arms waiting. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh, for that wonderful parting shot. I'm great to everything that you said. Yes, Sami, your final words.
Thank you so much for giving an opportunity. I think you know much more better. A lot of things you are interacting with all religious groups, in fact, and you know a lot of things from the Baha'i faith, Baha'i point of view. Okay, and you are quoting so much of things, the bar, the shrine, where it was being buried, and the laws and principle, doctrines, and so on. I really appreciate you. I salute you as well. Okay, on top of that, as Suresh said, we work for one common faith, one the love and unity. The earth is but one country, mankind are citizens. Yeah, this is the Baha'i principles, the Baha'u'llah given to us. Okay, we are living in this world, live happily, do good things for the betterment of society. Okay. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sami. Thank you so much. I just want to add something to that, Sami. Islam also believe in that then. You are one country. I think Christian also believe in that. So we are saying we are one world as one country, and all the citizens, all the human beings are basically citizens of this one country. We believe in that. We shouldn't be fighting over religions. With that, I thank you, Shafiq, Suresh, BHASKARAN, and my friend LOURDUSAMY from Bahai Faith. And those who are watching on FB Live, thank you very much for watching, for tuning in for 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 43 minutes. And if you not have liked my page, please do so. Please like, share, and subscribe this thing so others can benefit. Please do. You also help me in spreading this kind of, I think, harmony talk. And yeah, just a reminder to those watching as well. Next 2 weeks on the 27th of March, Saturday at 3 p.m. we have a talk on Hinduism 101, from the social issue, something like this. Hindu will be represented by Arun Dorasamy, advisor of Hindu Agaman Ani Malaysia, and Nagesh Rao is a founder and blogger of Siva City Speaks. Like I said, I think he's also watching today. Okay, with that, as always, I'll see you next time, God willing, or inshallah. So stay smart, stay fair, stay awesome, and I love you guys 7 billion times. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank everyone who is on live now.
All right.
Would like to, from the bottom of my heart, would like to thank each and everyone who are patiently listening to us. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Telefon tolong message saya terus. Itu saja. Terima kasih daripada saya. I love you 7 billion times. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye during that time. Okay, thank you very much.